It's there, but it's not playing for me. Get this. Yeah. I just simply, I want to get open. It's not doing it. Okay. Finish it. Okay. Alright. USB disk. That's what I want. Use it. Show me. Live. Okay, I know we Facebook Live. I'll be with you in a minute. Don't worry about it. Yo, what's up? Trying to get on there. Okay. 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 Yeah, I just turned it on. You said. Okay, I'm just doing. All right, I can't get the show music to open. Yeah. All right, brother. All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, I don't know why the USB disk won't open. I'm gonna go without it. Okay. I got to do it last time. I won't do it this time. Well, I ain't got time to keep going over there. Good morning, my children of the sun. Sorry for the delay. I had a little technical difficulties, but your open eye optometrist is here with you. All right, we're gonna get it started. I know you didn't catch my theme music. That was a little bit of difficulty I ran into, but don't you worry about it. I'm here with you now. I am here with you. And as I always tell you, you don't have to wait till 11 a.m. to tune in to WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna get it started right now. Music or not, don't a damn thing stop me. That's word. I see some people, they get worried about the scars they have. I don't worry about that. Don't worry about your scars. Don't worry about your scars, because you know what they are? They're reminders that when life tried to break you, it failed. That's the, you know, the best kind of people are the ones that come into your life and make you see the sun where you once saw clouds. I'm one of those people. I will make you see the sun. That's why we call our show The Open Eye. The people that believe in you so much that you start to believe in you too. I believe in you. The people that love you simply for being you. That's once of a lifetime people. Once in a lifetime people. Well, of course, we all know what's going on. And let me, excuse me for a second. Let me get y'all on here with me now. Make sure. All right. Where are we? Okay. All right. There it is. Make sure you're on here with me. All right. There it is. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know you tuned in. All right. Uh-huh. Yes, I'm live. I'm Facebook Live, doing what I do. That's where, well, like I said, we all know what's going on out here with this corona thing. And in the news, it is very difficult. Well, let me start here. Wait a minute before I get to that. I have another story for you. Oh, here we go. In the news, stolen trailer with 18,000 pounds of toilet paper and paper towels pulled over in North Carolina. With toilet paper flying off the shelves, a North Carolina truck driver caused a stir when he was pulled over hauling 18,000 pounds of bathroom products in a stolen trailer. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office issued a news release saying that deputies on Wednesday spotted the driver of an 18-wheeler and determined the trailer was stolen. They followed him to a warehouse off the interstate and discovered that the driver was hauling 18,000 pounds of commercial bathroom paper products, according to the release. Captain Darrell Loftus said by phone that the cargo included a mixture of paper towels, toilet paper, and other commercial products. Loftus said that the cargo was actually part of a shipment that was otherwise lawful. Only the trailer was stolen. He described it as legitimate cargo going to a legitimate place. He said the business that was the final destination is in Greensboro, but he didn't know its name. He said deputies helped to get it where it was supposed to go. He said no arrests have been made, but the driver is a suspect in the theft of the trailer. He said that they are taking their time to investigate and aren't releasing the name of the driver because the issue of the toilet paper is fairly sensitive right now. And you know what? People have lost their damn minds. I went to, to my camera here. Okay, yeah, there you go. I went to stop by Walgreens yesterday. They had no paper products. None. I seen a guy on, I guess he was on Facebook, wherever he was, where he bought up all this hand sanitizer, cases and cases of it, and was selling it on gouge the price, and he's selling it on Amazon.com. Amazon put a stop to that. Now he's stuck with all this hand sanitizer and what have you. I done seen people getting in fights over toilet paper. This thing is really going crazy. You know what? Here's a thought. Here's a thought. Why don't some of you people that empty the grocery stores of toilet paper, Lysol, hand sanitizer, since you now have more of this stuff than you will ever use in a year, why don't you spread some human decency? Y'all know about that? Human decency? And make a care package for some elderly person who lives next door who's on a fixed income. Bag her up some of this stuff and put it on her porch. And when she inevitably catches you doing it and asks you why, look her straight in the eye and simply say, I just want to know you're going to be okay. You think you're afraid? How do you think the elderly feel? I would love nothing more than to see this start coming across Facebook and social media. Spread some human kindness. You just might enjoy it. You just might enjoy it. You know, some people that are really having a hard time during this pandemic, this COVID-19 coronavirus ordeal, are homeless people. They don't have anywhere to go. Libraries have closed, you know, shelters are open, but, you know, the regular places that they close. I saw a story in the news journal. You don't think about it when you have some place to go, but one of the hardest things to put up with, one of the hardest things to do, which is why you see so many homeless people in places like the library, is just to have somewhere to go to the bathroom. You know, you would think, how could it be that tough? But it is. You know, it's very difficult for them because they have no place to go. Wilmington and Newcastle County officials are setting up 2 portable bathrooms and hand washing stations for the city's homeless. A group of people who have found themselves with almost no place to go, as cafes, libraries, and day centers have shuttered this week during the coronavirus outbreak. And joining me on the air, my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma. What's up, brother?
Yeah. Yo, what's good, man?
It's crazy out here, bro.
I heard you on the way in, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, we run into, you know how live radio is.
Oh,
sometimes
most definitely. Oh, yeah. It's always technical difficulties behind the scenes that they never see. But, yo, the toilet paper truck. Yo. I mean, we hustle, won't we?
Oh yeah, people will get
all kinds of people will hustle. It ain't no color on hustle.
Yeah, no, it ain't.
I mean, that green money is something.
Man, it's
what was you saying now?
I'm saying about the homeless here in Wilmington,
right?
And what they're doing is they're putting up portable toilets and sinks, which are being paid by federal funds. So because they can't go to the library, they can't go to these cafes and what have you, so
I think that's so ignorant.
Yeah. Well, the libraries are closed because of the corona, because they can't have more than 10 people.
This is the time that them things should be opening, because these people don't have nowhere to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They shouldn't be closing right now. This is the time they supposed to be opening their arms to the people that really
are in need.
Fought for our country and in need, because a lot of the people that's homeless is the people that fought for our country.
Yeah, a lot of veterans out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of veterans
out there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with this state of emergency declared by Governor Carney and by Mayor Fazicki, that if you have you can't have more than 10 people in an area and what have you. Now the library,
6
of course,
feet apart.
6 feet apart.
That's what the doc said.
Yeah. 6 feet apart. Can't have it. Can't have it. So, like you said, and that's what health officials are encouraging: 6 to 10 feet of distance between individuals to prevent the spread of the highly contagious virus.
Yeah.
So but fortunately, they are going to put more public toilets and they only got 2, which is not hardly enough. More public toilets and sinks, throughout the county, and hopefully that will alleviate some of the stress and trauma that people, have to deal with who are out here.
Well, I heard it through sources of sources. You know what I'm saying? That we're getting ready to be put in martial law. It's getting ready to be in martial law, and the martial law It's gonna say it's gonna be for a week, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be for longer than a week. You don't move all these troops in and stuff like that for just 1 week. You know what I'm saying? So people need to go get water and batteries and the essential that you need for at least 30 days. Because I can see it being in effect for at least 30 days.
Yeah, I heard that. Now, that has been floating around the internet, and wait a minute, I'm gonna tell you because I got it. Oh, by the way, the Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, the builders and founders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific building, apartment building.
Right.
The Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over the state. Okay. Now, I got this from a few people that they had it on a reliable source that within the next 48 to 72 hours, the Orange disaster is shutting down the U.S. for its 2-week nationwide quarantine as soon as he can put the National Guard in place to prevent rioting.
In position, right. Yeah, and that's what they're doing now. They bringing in all the National Guard's trucks and the tanks and stuff like that. When you see them big army tanks and stuff like that, you are automatically like, what you call that when they scare you to death?
When they scare you to death, panic?
Not panic, Oh, man, I can't grab that word right now. Oh, that's crazy. But, when them scare tactics, what'd you say?
Traumatized. Okay.
You automatically.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Carey.
You automatically traumatized. Especially the older people, like you were saying, when they see this type of stuff going on, they really worry.
Yeah, of course.
Messy. This is messy. When I say messy, this is messy.
It's a damn mess. And now, go ahead.
I was saying, like, it's a strategic plan to this, though. It's strategically designed. I go deep into the outside. I'm looking outside, and then I see inside. I'm a Gemini. Okay. So, the president got, it's like 12 people that run the country. Now, if I get these 12 people in the room, right, and say, look, boom, I know this virus is going crazy, it's spreading like wildfire, whatever.
Which you didn't believe at first.
Right, which I didn't believe at first because
it was a hoax.
Because it's like a flu. The flu last year had 65 million people and it killed 60,000 people.
Right.
So, I mean, as far as this virus being 65 million people, it ain't reached that yet.
No, so it's good. I think it's 20,000 right now.
Right, 20,000 people. That's 65 million people last year. Just last year, and that wasn't a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why he was saying, oh, that's all fake news. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't reached that number yet. So you put these 12 people, you got the media dude that lead everything, you got the transportation, you got all these people that strategically put in places that own all of the main sources that the people in the economic system run on. And you put them in a room and say, yo, look, for you on Boeing, okay, we shut you down for a month. How much you think it'll cost you? And he say $7 billion. You go, all right, no problem. We're going to shut you down for a month, and I'm going to give you $40 billion. You going to complain?
No.
I know you ain't. Okay, you won't. And that's the setup.
So, all right.
And you taking all them people, and if you shut down America, you making America great again, supposedly, by putting the economic back into it from the poor that they take from all the time.
Okay, they already put $1.5 trillion into the stock market, to make up for the losses for the stocks dropping.
They his buddies.
But here's the thing. When they had these other viruses and what have you that came along, right? The people that were running things were competent. Okay.
Right. These people are not competent.
Right.
I'm
the Orange
understanding
disaster
that.
is not competent.
But
you know what the Orange
he's a
disaster is?
Businessman.
He's a shaky businessman.
Oh, yeah, he's a strategic safety.
He's a kind man. He's a good kind man. A good businessman.
Did you see the post?
Which one?
I mean, good businessman isn't getting that money. He can get that money.
Yeah.
You understand? A good businessman get money. That's it. I don't care about nothing else. I need this money.
Okay.
That's what
he's
Trump
a dishonest con man. But okay, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. But like I said, here's the thing. Here's the thing, all right? And but as far as his business acumen, okay, look, yeah, check this out. Here, for real. Yeah, he is, because anybody that own a casino and go bankrupt, all right, look at the mob deal with casinos, all right. The mob ran casinos in Atlantic City and primarily, of course, first Las Vegas.
What you think that bankrupt was for?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Here was the deal, all right. The mob skimmed money out of the casinos for years. I mean, millions of dollars in the casinos kept going, never had declared bankruptcy. Okay, they paid their bills.
Right.
Okay, they knew not to kill a cash cow.
Right.
Okay. Oh, Trump, he got a casino. He was like, man, I'm gonna make a stand and I'm gonna get out. See, that to me, that's not a smart businessman. If you got a mark, you milk that mark. You milk that mark forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. He declared bankruptcy, so he didn't have to pay no damn bills.
But what about this? What about this, though? You know? See, it's another side to that. Okay, it's a business. Now, if your business called bankrupt, you get that money.
Yeah.
All right, then. So if I can just grab the money and go and flip it, because I only want the money.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't got to be around a long time. Just as long as you reach this
so you can make that
$100 million.
Right.
$200 million,
right.
and give it here, and that's where he at, man. And he doing
that
with
anyway,
America.
You know, I don't want to get off the thing of the corona. Though.
Right.
Okay, but now the thing with this, now here's another thing, is he's promising, and supposedly the checks are supposed to go out by April the 6th. That at first it was just workers would get $1,000 or $1,200 check. All right, and I heard some people say, well, you know what? He ain't my president. I ain't taking that. Look, I'm taking the money. I'm taking the money. A monkey taking money ain't got no pockets to put it in. I'm taking the money.
They can hold their hand out.
That's right. Okay, so he went from, what was it, just workers to all Americans. Okay, and then he said that's just gonna be the first check, because you're gonna get another one a month later. Beautiful. Send the money. $1,000, you know, you got some bills and this, that, and the other. For some people,
if I give
that's
you
not going to be much. But
if I give you $1,000, right, and the test I tell you to go get cost $6,000, okay, well, we ain't losing.
No.
This the whole thing. This is strategically designed. Everything. You understand? So if I'm giving this $1,000 to each individual, best believe each individual will have a bill for at least $6,000 to $10,000, almost quadrupling.
You gonna put some money on your bill,
of course. Yeah. And it's about the stimulation of the economy, right? And that's what he's manipulating, right? Okay. This whole manip is that the coronavirus is just I'm not saying a light disease or a light virus, because it's killing people. Right. You don't take it lightly, because it's like the flu. I mean, just like any other thing. But he's making it like it's China right now is coming back down from the coronavirus. They're being cured. If they have something that's curing, I'm not saying I don't know what they don't have the cure, but it's curing itself. People are getting better now. So how is it still a pandemic?
Well, let me tell you something. See, like I said, it's called incompetence. See, when he came into the office, one of the first things he did, right, okay, was to fire or dismantle the pandemic commission, the team that would handle this type of thing.
Yo, that's incredible.
That's incompetence. Okay, now, I don't think people have fully digested this shocking fact.
Okay, what?
Coronavirus was discovered in the U.S. on the same day that it was discovered in South Korea. They mobilized their entire society and is now contained. Trump called it a hoax. Now it's out of control.
It is out of control. Yeah. He's out of control.
He's out of control. Yeah. Now, Governor Carney and the Delaware Health Social Services announced statewide COVID-19 testing plan, in coordination with the Delaware Health Care System. Beginning Monday, March 23rd, Delaware Health Systems will operate standing health facility test sites, where healthcare staff will test individuals who have been evaluated by a medical provider to have symptoms consistent with COVID-19. A physician order or a prescription is required. It's free. It will be free. But you have to go to your primary care and they have to say, okay, yeah, it looks like you might have a corona.
But that's the setup.
So,
that's the setup.
what you mean?
How many people out there got primary care doctors?
Not many.
Okay, that's the setup. So from the gate, it's like I said, it's strictly on some, you know what I'm saying? These people get it, them people don't. Yeah, I mean, if you don't got a primary care physician, where are you going to get it from? You going to go to the emergency room and say, yo, I need.
No, you can't go to the emergency room with that.
You can't do none of that.
That's right.
So how is that going to be
beneficial?
You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, that's what you have
like
to understand.
Most poor people do not have a primary care physician. You know, and that's going to be the problem.
That's going to be the downsides of all of that. That's sounding good now. It's really messy. We just gotta.
Like you said, it's real messy. Now, here's the setup. Like you said, here's the setup. At least 2 GOP senators dumped millions in stock after they attended the coronavirus briefings. That's called insider trading. Senator Richard Burr and Kelly Loeffler, I think it's actually 4. I don't have the other 2 people's names. They made dozens of stock trades right after they had a private health briefings for Congress that began in January. See, this thing been coming since January. These congressmen, these senators went to this briefing and said, oh yeah, I'm going on the stock market and get rid of these stocks because I'm going to make some money.
This gonna hurt you. This gonna hurt you. This gonna hurt you. Look, I got a lot of followers and I follow a lot of people, but people that I choose to follow is people like with mad cash, like Bill Gates.
Okay.
And I say Bill Gates because Bill Gates 7 years ago said this was coming. He was warning people 7 years ago that this virus was coming to the United States and it was going to kill at least 50,000 people. And now look, 7 years later. So when you follow what I'm saying it for is when you follow and stay informed with the billionaires, you can see some of the stuff that's coming because they know, and sometimes they'll say it, and we just have to take it for real because some stuff we don't take for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Bill Gates been saying this virus was coming. Yeah. And it was going to do what it's doing right now.
Yeah. Well, it's doing what it do. I'm going to tell you that. It's doing what it do. And you look at the streets of Wilmington. It's like a ghost town, especially in downtown area.
I mean, the streets all over. You see, in New York, they bought the National Guards in up there already.
Oh, they already bought them in? I see they was rolling in.
But you know what they did do, right? Open them liquor stores.
Yeah, they still open here too, ain't they?
I tell you what, don't let nobody get their drink in.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen? You know it's gonna be some domestic violence.
You talk about messy?
Yeah. People don't get their drink. It's gonna be some domestic violence going on.
Oh man.
But now as we gonna move on to some other subjects. But remember, to help prevent the spread of COVID-19, take these little safety measures. Wash your hands. Okay, don't just hit it with the
they say 20 seconds, right?
Yeah, 20 seconds. 20 seconds at least. Wash your hands with soap and warm water. Don't go in there and rub some soap on and rub some cold water and then go dry your hands and spread some more disease.
The disease lives in the cold. Heat kills it. So the disease lives in the cold. So you want to apply heat.
Now cover a cough or a sneeze. Now when I work in the clothes closet. I was up in the clothes closet and you saw my.
I see your gear.
You saw my gear.
I thought you was running.
Fool come in there, sneeze all over the place, ain't covering. We Lysol it down, and he had to go. You mean I gotta leave? Yeah, you gotta go. Are you kidding me? You just now sneeze and cover your mouth or nothing and give a damn about nobody? No, out.
No, that's crazy.
So when you cover your cough and sneeze, dispose of the tissue and wash your hands.
I don't play tissues, man. Tissues is the worst, man.
Yeah, well, I'm a snotty nose rascal myself.
Tissues, I'm saying you can't leave your tissues around. You
no,
ain't snotty nose and then blow your nose and leave your tissue next to the microphone. And you ain't doing that. And, you know what I'm saying? But there's people that do that.
Yeah. I try to be, sanitary with mine.
Right.
Don't touch. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. I seen a woman reading this same list, right? And she can't get the mouth.
I seen that.
Put her thumbs and fingers all up in her mouth.
That's incompetence.
That's that incompetence right there, bro. Jeez Louise, what's wrong with these people?
So, yeah, D, Daryl, what's up? Tia, how you doing?
Keep your distance. Avoid close contact with people. D. Keep your distance. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. All right? Somebody got cold and what have you. One of our workers, they had a cold. She couldn't come in. That's it. Stay home. Now, here's another thing. Stay home, and I'm going to add one. And get help. If you feel the symptoms, if you feel sick, go somewhere and get some damn help. All right.
They said don't come until you almost busted up.
Yeah.
Don't come until you crazy. Right. Don't come because it's that simple. It's the flu virus. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they said don't come until it's time.
That's word.
Yeah.
Keep that thing.
Oh my God, it's really messy. Yo, big ups to Greg. And yeah, so we all know to wash your hands, cover up when you cough, don't touch nothing, keep at least 4 feet distance, stay home, but get some fresh air, you know what I'm saying? And yo, if you're in dire need, make a phone call to get some help. That's the main things and the basis that we need to go by to actually, stay ahead of this COVID-19.
And another thing, now we had a lady came up in the clothes closet talking about a few months ago she had a respiratory problem. I got the COVID-19.
You can't even play like that. You get shot. Did you know they shooting the people on site in Korea right now?
Yeah.
Yo, he said,
North Korea ain't playing.
Cough. If you cough, I'm giving it to you. Yo,
that's crazy.
What? And yo, listen,
they ain't playing over there,
not
man.
playing like that.
They ain't kidding with you.
Yo. And Trump didn't really be like that too. That's why he's setting it up. And once you get the setup in place, it's on. Right, it's on.
You're gonna be quarantined.
And yo, if you follow my Facebook, the Facebook is somewhat prejudiced also because they'll tell me that I got this content is not for their community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
outside the guidelines.
Right. But you can have a black guy hanging and it don't have nothing in front of it. It's not covered up or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how is that good content for your community? Yeah, but anyway, right. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, all the stuff I post on Facebook, it was this white guy digging in his mouth and with all his spit because he had the virus and spreading it all on the subway. And then it was this other white guy. He was he had it and he was licking all the hands, all the carts when he go to the supermarket. He was licking all the handles. I mean, that's terrorism in itself.
Biological terrorism.
Right. So who these people are the ones that's doing it. I don't see black people and Mexican people and other nationality people doing that type of stuff. Right. And that's incredible to me.
It is, man. And they got this thing, the coronavirus challenge, where you could perform some risky behavior and see if you get away with it, like you were saying. I seen a girl lick a doorknob.
Right.
Lick a doorknob. Everybody's hands have been on that doorknob. She licked a doorknob. Right? Another girl, now this is the low nasty right here. This is the low nasty. Lick the toilet seat.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you people?
I mean, is that the new fad?
It's the new challenge.
Kill yourself.
See if you can
kill yourself in 10 minutes. Come on, man.
Yeah. See if you can do something stupid and get away with it.
That's crazy.
That's where, oh my God. The things that, the views and opinions that we express on the Open Eye are belong to the host and co-host of Open Eye, have nothing to do with our sponsor or the station. We are responsible for what we say. We take responsibility for that. That's the disclaimer that won't play on the damn thing, but that's all right. Don't you worry about it.
We know our stuff by heart.
That's word.
And you want to call in? Come on.
Yeah, no, you ain't give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Let me take a look over here because somebody.
Yeah, they be calling on us too.
Let me keep my eye on it. Yes, indeed. Oh, Mabruka say, "What's up, Mabruka?" She said, "Hey to the good brothers." That's my man,
Ding.
my old head's daughter.
Greg Dale, what's up?
In there and what have you. Now, something the brother asked me about when we talked about, excuse me, about the slave trade.
Donisha.
Okay, there was a friend of yours that asked me
about the slave trade. Yeah. My boy, Scrubber Dub.
Okay, what's up, Scrubber Dub?
Yeah, Bill, brother. What's up?
Well, we often talk about the Atlantic, the transatlantic slave trade. You know, the slaves that were taken from Africa and brought to the U.S. But what you don't hear a lot about is the Arab slave trade. Okay, now while 2 out of 3 slave ships across the Atlantic were men,
right? The
proportion were reversed in the Islamic Arab slave trade. 2 women for every man were enslaved by Muslims in the Arab world. Once they had conquered North Africa and, of course, the Middle East, which I call East Africa,
right?
Which it actually is. While the mortality rate of the slaves being transported across the Atlantic was as high as 10%, the percentage of slaves dying in transit in the trans-Saharan and East African slave market was a staggering 80 to 90%.
Wow.
Okay, while almost all the slaves shipped across the Atlantic were for agricultural work, most of the slaves destined for the Muslim Middle East were for sexual exploitation as concubines in harems and for military service. Now, what they were known to do,
right,
is castrate the men and make them eunuchs.
I mean, what kind of people think to do these type of things, man? What is the mentality of the people that applies that? You have to really. I can't understand that because I wouldn't do that, but war is war, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what I'll do until I'm put in a situation where I have to fight back for real. Mm-hmm. I fight back now aggressively. Mm-hmm. So if I know I'm at war, mm-hmm. I'm going in.
Of course.
So all right.
Well, it's something that like I said, this is something that we don't really talk about. Is the Arab Islamic slave trade. And, I'm going to hold some criticism out for some of my Muslim brothers.
Right.
Okay. And that is that, you as a Muslim should be very vocal in condemning the Arab Islamic slave trade. Now, legally, in most Arab countries, slavery ended, 1960, which is very late in history. Okay. Slavery ended, I think in Saudi Arabia, wasn't outlawed until 1980. That's legally
1980. That wasn't long ago.
No, that was in our lifetime.
Right, that wasn't long ago at all.
That was in our lifetime. Now, I can remember when I was in the Air Force, and I had the opportunity to visit many countries, Mauritania, Yemen, and countries in North Africa, and what have you. And when I came back, I told some of my Muslim brothers that there is slavery in North Africa that is being perpetrated by Arabs, by Muslim Arabs. And some of my brothers said, "Oh man, you need to stop reading that stuff. You need to stop reading that." Well, I'm not telling you about something I read. I'm telling you about what I saw. The slave markets were open. Now,
a lot of people can't get out the country and really see what's going on, mm-hmm. and see how we being treated as dark people in a lot of places.
In a lot of places.
Yeah.
That's
so, right. I mean, till you physically go and really know, mm-hmm. you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Right.
You'll never know. Unlike the European slave trade, the Arab slave trade was not an important feature of the Arab economy. and it predominantly targeted women who became members of harem and whose children actually were full heirs to their father's name, legacies, and fortune without regard to their physical features, which is why, see, this is why we get kind of mixed up with this as far as the Arab slave trade.
Okay.
Now, some of the male offspring of the female slave and the Arab master, the Arab male, okay, are accepted into the family, okay? But that mentality is the mentality of their fathers, okay? So they continue to perpetrate the racism and the slavery and the oppression.
Not even realizing that it's them.
It's them.
You know, I mean, that's the same thing that's going on right now, the brainwashing, you know, in America with us as citizens. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
now one of the few Arabs to really stand against this, and one of the things that cost him his life was Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi, he understood and used his power and wealth to try to redeem, you know, some semblance of justice for the African. He was the first Arab leader.
Did you, not to cut you off, did you know Gaddafi said that they was going to do this before they killed him? He had a press conference, and he was talking about how the United States was going to insert a major catastrophe and give you the antidote. It's messy. I got the article on my joint. You gotta check it out. I usually hit you with that. And not to go off again. One of my homegirls, Sonia, she was asking a question. She was like, should Trump be able to call the coronavirus Chinese coronavirus?
Well, you know what? Now, what people did was they said when he said that was racist to call it the Chinese virus. You know,
and he said Kung Fu virus. He was doing all kinds.
But let me ask you something, man. He is the orange disaster. But was it racist to call the Spanish flu the Spanish flu?
I mean, anytime you put in a specific character on something that's bad like that, yes, that's like the black flu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I would say, actually, it was racist. Anyway,
of course. Honky chicken pox. Come on, man.
We couldn't do that.
Of course, that's sick.
But let's get back to the Arab slave trade, because there's some important factors here that we got to look at. And I have another criticism. You know, assalamu alaikum to you. Much peace to you, my black Muslim brothers. Okay,
right, true.
But I'm going to tell you something. You're not so much Muslims as you are culturally Arab. Think about that. Okay. Now,
Muhammad Ali was a Muslim.
Yeah.
And if you hear what Muhammad Ali said about Muslims on one of his interviews, like when he really had Parkinson's disease in his last moments of his time, they did an interview with him. Man, it was serious.
Yeah.
And he was telling them how Muslims aren't representing the Muslimality of the science.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, now Gaddafi was the first Arab leader to apologize on behalf of Arab peoples to our African brothers and sisters for the Arab slave trade and the Arab role in the European slave trade. See, here's the thing you got to understand about the Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade really came out of the Moors being kicked out of Europe and joining forces with the Arabs against their own black brothers. Okay, now when the Moors and the Arabs were enslaving Africans, they started selling the Europeans. When you say black people were selling other black people, Africans, to the Europeans, you got to recognize who was doing that.
It wasn't black people, it was Arab black people.
Well, it was the Moors that came out of Europe that started that.
The Moors.
Yeah, who were Africans, but they had been in Europe so long, when they got kicked out of Europe and came back to Africa, they had no sentimental attachment to Africa. You feel me?
Right.
Okay, so they started attacking places like the
Nah,
empires
they
of
just
Ghana.
boiled down to money. Let's get this money, and
Yeah,
let's
well,
right.
it always comes down to
Oh
money.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's gold, it's
yeah,
money or whatever.
you know.
It's
So
Trump.
they started attacking the empires of Sangay and Ghana and what have you. So when the Arabs and the Europeans came in, these empires were already weakened from their fights with the Moors. Okay,
Right.
so it made it easier
For
for
the
Europeans
to take over.
to take in,
Right.
right, and
Okay.
for the Arabs and what have you. Okay, now here's another thing. Like I said, I am critical always of all religions. Okay, even some of my brothers in African spirituality, because when it's new to you, okay, when you're a novice, you're kind of fanatic. Okay, and this is what I say to my brothers that leave the traditional religions and come into African spirituality. Watch your fanaticism. Okay,
fanaticism. You gotta break that down. A lot of people fanaticism.
Yeah,
Break it down.
One who is a fanatic, one who is so deep into it that they can't
see
accept
nothing else
or see nothing else.
Okay, fanaticism.
Okay, fanaticism. But you know, that was
Did you
a
make that
$30
word
word.
up? Did
No,
you make
no,
that word up?
no, that was
Because
one
I
of them
got
$30 words.
dictionary coming out.
I know.
I'm
That's a real word.
words
That's a real
there.
word. That's what. That matter of fact, it wasn't a $40 word. I think it was like a $22, $27 word. You know? But at any rate, watch your fanaticism. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm hard on traditional religions. For instance, what I say about Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, which are the traditional religion.
Okay.
Okay, is that they are all, as practiced, male chauvinist murder cults. And I know some Christians and Muslims ain't feeling it when I say that, but that's what you are. Male chauvinist murder cults. Okay. Now I hear Christians say, Islam is violent, and it says right in the Quran that if you're not a Muslim, then you should be put to death. Well, guess what? It says the same damn thing in the Christian Bible. They went into the New Testament and this peace and this, that, and the other.
I mean,
look at the history of Christianity.
Right.
Christianity, like I told y'all before, Christianity and Islam are not the major religions by the quality of their truth, but by the quantity of their violence.
This the Open Eye, 95.3 FM WHGE radio. This is how we give it to you.
Yes, indeed. Now, another thing that I got to tell you about the slave trade,
Joe, what's good?
The Arab slave trade, is that it's still going on.
What?
Yes, today. Right now. See, it's one of the
there's
things.
A slave trade going on in Libya too.
Like, in North Africa, Libya. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
This is where they trying to bring it back to, and they're trying to make us them all over again.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's still going on in Libya. It's still going on in Saudi Arabia. It's still going on in Kuwait. It's still going on in Morocco. It's still going on in Mauritania. And in these North African countries that have been taken over by Arabs.
Wow.
Are practicing slavery. Now, here's the thing in Libya. Libya is the worst. Libya, which was once an oasis of modern living under Muammar Gaddafi. I don't care what you say about Gaddafi and what have you. Of course, he's going to be vilified because he wouldn't go along with what the West wanted.
Right, the plan. Yeah. And he was outside of their strategic planning.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gaddafi's country was actually off the hook. Gaddafi declared that he would not live in a house until there was no homelessness in his country. There was no homelessness during Gaddafi before. That's
the way he was thinking.
Right.
And he was thinking not for him, but the people and the land and he knew the value of that.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they seen that he was a smart black guy or whatever, a man of color, whatever. He
considered himself a Pan-African.
Right, he was an African, right?
Yeah, he considered himself African.
He was African, and he was owning one of the richest countries, and he was
rich.
Right, he was sticking up Nonetheless, he was going against all their rules. When they tried to come and take it, he stepped the old things on fire. Remember that?
Yeah.
They was losing money so bad back then. They was really trying to kill him.
Right.
So I mean,
now he had full employment. This was another thing. Okay, he had full employment. Not only did he have full employment, but excuse me, the employment was such that he had to import people from beneath the Sahara to take some of these jobs. Okay, this is where the West used the racism of the average Arab in North Africa. They imported, the West imported, the CIA imported Arabs who they knew would react adversely to Black Africans, okay, who they knew would react that way to them, okay, and this is where what got Gaddafi killed, because this is what they use to push the things that
they do,
they do, right,
and their agenda,
right.
Hey, I had a question too. Another, they hit us, and I'll be reading posts. She was asking, how many gods do you think there is? Do you think there's one God? Can you agree that there's one God, or there's a bunch of gods? All these religions and all of these other things. So, what do you think about that?
Personally, I believe there's one creator. Okay, but there are 4,000 religions, and each one of them will tell you that their God is right.
But and them 4,000 religions, is their God considered the same God?
No, not all of them. Some of them.
So they say Jesus is better than Allah.
Oh yeah. Now see, the thing is, you gotta, yeah. Well, what's so crazy is that Muslims believe that Jesus was a prophet. Christians believe that Jesus is the Son of God and God Himself.
But Jesus was a prophet also, because he wasn't God. He was a figure of God.
That's what the Muslims
was the Son of God. I mean,
but
it only what it is. You can't have a son and he say he you.
Yeah.
You can have a son and say your son is from you.
That,
you have a son and say your son is from you. He can never be you.
Right.
Right.
But that's what Christians say.
I mean, that's why they're killing and doing all this other stuff that's going on in the world. That's why they're the vicious religion in the world.
Yeah. Well, Islam, they say he's a prophet. And you cannot say anything critical about the Prophet Muhammad, who is they consider the seal. Now, personally, I'm not a Christian, and I have some views on that really upset Christians and Muslims.
Oh, right, because I mean, you believe in what you want to believe in. Some people believe in cigarettes. Yeah. Some people believe in cars. You know what I'm saying? It's all in what the person believes.
The thing with me is, I am not satisfied to believe. I have a need to know.
Right.
And
my thing is, I am God.
Yeah.
If a tree can be planted as a seed and grow to be 40, 50 billion years old in the forest, and I'm a seed also from the unknown, I have to be that God.
Okay. Now, what I often say is, and I posted on Facebook, especially around her birthday, that which nurtures you and brings you about, that which you look to for your growth, for your protection, is your God. Okay, so I often say that I met God; she raised me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course.
God is many. God is not only one thing. God is a bunch of things that make that one thing work.
So when I say that, what I actually mean is that my mother is a manifestation of God in my life.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, and I am a manifestation of God in the way I try to do things. And if you don't understand that, well, do some studying. Oh, now I got to get back to this and close this out about the Libyan slave market.
All right.
Okay, it's more than just the slavery. It has become an organ market. They're selling kidneys. They're selling
arm, right arm, left arm. Yeah. If you need a right foot, what color? We
got you.
Yeah, pancreas.
Yeah,
heart. You need an eyeball.
We got you.
Right.
Now, I'm going to give you a little preview.
That's messy, man.
That's messy. Now, I'm going to give you a little preview. I'm going to move on to another topic.
Oh, my God.
Preview of what we're going to get into next week.
Joe.
And one of the things that we're going to get into is neo-colonialism in Africa. Understand something about Africa. Africa is the prize. Africa is the most resource-rich continent on the planet.
And did you know, like on the map, they got Africa, like Africa's like it's semi.
It's shrunken.
Yeah, it's shrunken.
Yeah.
Africa is the biggest continent on the map.
On the map.
And they got it shrunken down like it's the little.
That's that psychological
exactly.
warfare.
That's what I'm telling you. It's
That's
strategically done. If you got to understand what's being done to you. You know what I'm saying? For you to
Now,
really get the truth.
I got to tell you that if you go to Africa, you travel to Africa now, when you get on the plane, you will notice a death or a lack of African Americans going to Africa. You will see plenty of Europeans and Asians rushing to get to Africa. But we as a people, as African Americans, we ain't interested in going.
Because they have scared us from going to your own places to see. You'll go there and see how beautiful it is, and you'll be wanting to move there.
Yeah. And the last thing they want are for African Americans
to leave
and join with their brothers and sisters in Africa. Okay, now like I said, the Chinese, and this is what I'm telling you about this little preview. The Chinese are the new
Africa,
are the new colonialists,
coming
the
in
new
there.
colonizers coming into Africa. In Nigeria, a Chinese restaurant decided that they wasn't letting in black people. You're on the goddamn, you're on the African continent, and you telling black people can't come in your restaurant. Well, Nigeria wasn't having that, and they shut them down.
Of course.
Yeah. They're
not doing that. Of course, they should shut them down and throw them out the country.
That's right.
I mean, it's just that simple. You know what I'm saying?
That's word. You know,
we got to start standing up and taking our own. We don't even have a food strip. Just all American, African American food.
That's word.
On a strip. You can't find it nowhere in the country.
You know.
All African strip food, nowhere. Yeah. So why don't one of these billionaire basketball players or singers or something start making such stuff for the community and putting plans together for the black community itself to be enriched? They don't think like that.
No, they don't. Now, one of the things that
Kiana,
we were talking about religion, just a little earlier, and what people believe. You know that some people actually believe that we as a people are cursed because and that's why we were enslaved. Let me get ready to close out here. I've seen several posts on Facebook and social media by black people stating that black people suffer from the oppression and horror of slavery because black people of Africa were disobedient to God, thus were cursed with slavery as a punishment. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I'm not sure if this view should be defined as slave mentality, mental illness, or just idiocy. According to this stance, God is punishing black people for their shortcomings while allowing their oppressors' evil and deviltry to go unchecked and unpunished. So God is mean and vindictive and racist, and obviously doesn't like black people, according to these people. Let me tell you something. The energy of the universe created man. Man created gods and religion to oppress and enslave. Any black people that believe such foolishness curse themselves out of their own mouths. Keep your ignorance and your curses to your damn self and leave my people alone, please. Destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
This is
WHGE
95.3, The Open Eye.
Yaga!
It's can't happen. Can't happen. So, like you said, that's a health official or encouraging 6 to 10 feet of distance between individuals to prevent the spread of the highly contagious. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. But fortunately, they are going to put more